No one watching yet. Just turn that around a bit. God, that came on live really quick then. Yeah, so I'll wait for a few people to jump in. A little bit early again, but I'm just sat around doing nothing after my lunch, so I thought I'd come on. So yeah, Q&A today, so when there's some people jumping in, I will ask them to ask a few questions, and then we'll get on with it. Other than that, what to talk about this week? I've got my listings wrote on my board up there. So I've done 61 listings this week so far, which I'm really happy with that. And I've been doing it on Instagram as well, so I've been putting my listings each day on Instagram on my stories. So if you're not following me on Instagram, whack over to Instagram, because I do my daily stories over there. I've been doing daily stories for ages. I think did I have a break? Actually, I think I had a break over the weekend or something, so I've been doing daily stories on and off for quite a while, and yeah, so there's just more content over there really. So with that being said, sales have been okay. They were good last week. This week's been a bit mixed, to be honest. A couple of days have been pretty poor. Went to the auction on Tuesday, did the viewing on Monday. I got about 18 to 20 boxes, 18, 19, 20 boxes. So yeah, I've got all that in my lockup. I'll probably do some haul videos on them in the coming days or months, or well, not months, but days or weeks. And yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's anything else, any other general updates and stuff to talk about really. So I will have a look in the chat. We've got Andy in there, hi there, and we've got, is that Ree? Is that how you pronounce it? Ree? Hi there. Anyway, I've not seen you in the chat before, so hi. So yeah, 7 people watching. Again, it seems to be starting off pretty slow this week, which is odd. Oh, Andy Reseller's in there. Hi there, Andy. I've not seen you in ages. Or I've not seen you in the chat for ages anyway. I've not ever actually seen you in real life, but you know what I mean anyway. So I didn't know you were still reselling. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. It's all going wrong, isn't it? One sec. There we go. It's very... The light exposure is really bad as well. Yeah, so Andy had, yeah, so you must still be reselling then, I didn't realise. GMC says, oh wait, one sec, it's just gone up. Oh, everyone's chatting now. Thanks for your eBay training videos, I'm getting through them and want to start doing eBay business. Watching your, guess that meant to say vids first. Yeah, I'd spent a lot of time on them, it was actually last summer, so I don't know. I hope they're still relevant, you know, today, because it was a year ago or so, but I think pretty much all the information in it is still pretty decent, pretty solid. But yeah, I spent quite a lot of time on it. I think each course must have took me, well, maybe the small short ones not quite this long, but the longer ones took me about 12 hours each, so yeah, put quite a lot of effort into them in terms of the thumbnails and the editing and stuff, so I'm glad that some people have got some use out of them. You know, they've not performed in views as well as I'd hoped they would have done. But to be honest, it's one of those things that I'd rather just get them out there, and at least if a few people get some help out of them, then I'm happy with it. And also, you never know, they might start to perform in views in the next few months, so they might slowly climb up with views. So, you know, there's always time for that as well, there's always chance, but I'm glad that there has been a few people contact me about them and said that, you know, obviously they're appreciative of the fact that I did them, and, you know, I'm glad that obviously I ended up putting them on my channel and some people getting some use out of them, so I've just actually uploaded them to my website as well. Last night I put a post on my community tab on this channel, so if you don't know what the community tab is, I think it's, if you go on a channel if you're on a computer, it's just like, it's one of the tabs along the side. You have like home, videos, about, community, it's the community tab. And then you can see that there, and there's a link to my website. There's a link to my website down below as well in the description. But what is the best printer for eBay business? I was thinking thermal printer for using with UPS. I don't know, it's hard to say what the best one is. Like, some people use those little Aviva Dymo ones. I don't know what the model number is, but they're little Dymo ones, and they print labels singularly like that. I use just a HP, probably cost me about 30 quid, something like that, not a lot. And yeah, I just use that for labels, and they're very, very, it's easy to print. It probably prints about 20 sheets per 20 sheets per minute, not per page. 20 sheets per minute. So yeah, it's fine for what I want. I've had a Brother HL dash 1112 or 112 before, and that worked really well. That was about 40 quid. And they're what are they? Laser printers, not thermal printers, label printers, but for laser even. My God, my words today, I tell you, I'm tripping over them. But yeah, so yeah, laser printer, and laser printers are good. Thermal printers are really good, but I've never had one. And then you can use those Dymo ones. I don't know what those Dymo ones are. Maybe they're laser printers. I'm not too sure, but so the HP, is that okay? That sounds good. Could get it cheaper than thermal. Yeah, I don't think you particularly need a thermal, but I think that thermals are better than laser printers. I don't know in what respect, but I'm sure I've heard someone say they're better than laser printers. So I suppose it's just about going with what you need. I don't tend to spend a lot of money on printers and things like that and equipment because, as long as you do the job, it's fine. You don't necessarily need a brilliant one. It's kind of like this idea of, a lot of people start businesses these days, and they're all these like young entrepreneurs, and I have nothing against young entrepreneurs or anything, because I wouldn't say I'm an entrepreneur myself, but I'm a businessman, so I'm in that similar vein. But they start these businesses and they spend like 200 quid on a printer, and they spend X amount of money on equipment, and they think to themselves, oh well, I'm going to need a good computer, so I'm going to spend 1,500 on this brilliant machine that does everything I want to do and more, and way more than I need it to do even. And you think to yourself, but you just waste money. Why not set up shop with the basic things that you need that'll obviously last you a fair bit of time as well, but just your basic stuff, and then save your money to invest in the business on more important things like stock or whatever it may be. Or, if you run a digital business, maybe you need some sort of software that you need to invest in. Maybe spend it on that. But it seems like a lot of these people tend to spend a lot of money where they don't need to spend it, So if you can get a decent thing for fairly cheap, go with that over getting like a really incredible machine, because I think it comes into this idea of not necessarily ego, but when people, I suppose it is ego a little bit, but it's kind of like this, not ego, but competitiveness. Like, oh well, I've got this amazing computer, and I've got this amazing printer and stuff, as if they're trying to outdo people in the way they do business. It's really weird. I don't get it. I understand where they're coming from in the fact that they want to feel some level of self-importance, but I don't get it fully. I can't put myself in their shoes and think, oh right, that's exactly the reason why they're doing it and why they would ever even think of doing it. Because to me, where possible, I'm going to save as much money as possible. I'm not going to spend, So, and I've always been that mentality. I've always been a saver rather than a spender. I call myself an entrepreneur, so you must be one as well. Well, I don't call myself an entrepreneur because an entrepreneur, I'm sure I got the definition somewhere, but it's someone who actually has creative and new ideas. Not necessarily quite an inventor. Obviously, an entrepreneur could also be an inventor, but it's just having creative, new business ideas and things like that. What I do is not creative. It's not anything like the sort. All I do is buy stuff from a charity shop or an auction and put it on eBay. That's, to me, yeah, okay, you can make the argument, and it's a very valid argument, that there is some level of creativity in the listing process, and I get that, and I agree with that. But it's not really entrepreneurial. You're just buying something from a car boot and putting it on eBay. It's not, it's not like a really new idea, or you're not having a crazy, you're not like a really crazy, unconventional business idea or philosophy or whatever that you're coming up with, or you're not generating a new business principle or anything. So for me, I'm not an entrepreneur. Could you say that I am a creative in some aspects of my life. Yes, you could probably say that, as long, as well as a lot of people watching as well. So, for example, some of the things I do on YouTube are a little bit more creative. So you could say in that respect I'm a little bit creative, but I wouldn't associate that with entrepreneurship, because my YouTube, even though I do creative things on my YouTube channel, I don't get much money from my YouTube, so I can't really say that I'm being entrepreneurial in that way either, because I'm not earning a ton of money from the creative ideas that I'm doing on YouTube. So, you've got to think to yourself, well, am I really an entrepreneur or not? The definition of entrepreneur ads is someone who sets up a business or businesses taking on financial risk in the future. Oh, right. I swear someone told me it was about ideas and stuff. I knew it was about business, but I thought it was about, I swear I got the definition somewhere, that it was about creative business ideas in which you're creating different things in a market, in which you're providing a solution for something, or you're providing some sort of new product in the market or something. I got the definition as that. So I've never really considered myself an entrepreneur. From time to time I've thought of myself a little bit as one, or before I even knew, or before I found out that definition, maybe I would have considered myself one a little bit, but I don't know, I still have a hesitancy. Is that right? Hesitancy, is that a word? We're going to go with it. Hesitancy to calling myself one, because I just think, I don't know whether I quite am one. I don't even really like saying too much. I know I said it a minute ago, but I didn't say it with incredible vigor. I don't really like saying too much that I'm a creative. I do a few creative things, but I'm not on any real massive creative level like some well-known artists or whatever. So I don't really like saying I'm a creative in too much of the definition of the word. Of course, on a low level of the word I am, just as I would say on a low level of the word I'm an entrepreneur, but not to that like real high level. That's kind of what I'm saying. Reselling other people's tat is not being an entrepreneur. Well, that's what Gary says, so I don't know. There's different definitions for all these things though, isn't there? And you never know where you are. I have no car, but I have a newsagent just around the corner that does the UPS shipping. I just need to get a printer to do the labels and can use the bus to go to the charity shops to get stock to sell. Yeah, we'll just get a basic printer if that's the case. Don't worry about it too much. Oh, yeah, Gary was in. He said hi. Tap Peddler question, do you use click and collect ads? I've opted out as I'm fed up of getting them sent back by smaller click and collect shops. You know what? I do use the click and collect thing. I don't know whether it's by, is it by Argos or Sainsbury's or whatever it is now, I don't know. But it's funny you should mention that, because I've had about 2 or 3 in the last few months, and I don't sell many by click and collect, not tons anyway. I don't know what percentage of my sales, but it's not a lot, probably less than 10%. But I've had 2 or 3 in the last few months, and they just come back to me, and it says, what's it? I think the thing on the return request says buyer did not collect or something like that. Or buyer not refused to collect, but buyer didn't show up. Maybe it says buyer didn't show up. I'm not sure, but it's something like that. And then they come back to me, and I'm like, well, when I get the return request, I mean, oh god, here's a problem. So luckily, when I've got the return request and the just buyer didn't show up or whatever, I mean, oh well, it's not really a major problem or anything. There's not a problem with the item, so I don't mind that. But yeah, I do have to say, it's a bit annoying where you end up getting them back and you're like, oof, So, I don't know, yeah, it might be interesting. I might actually opt out of that, because it's not a huge percentage of my sales or anything, so it's not like I'd be shooting myself in the foot massively. But it does seem more recently that's been the case for me, so it's interesting you brought that up, yeah. I think invest on things that save you time and effort. Yeah, that's a good point, Andrew. Definitely invest in things that save you time and effort. Like this printer here does me. So for example, it saves me money because it's a laser printer and the toner lasts for ages. But it also does 20 pages per minute, and that's really, really quick. So I can save a little bit of time there. If I had an inkjet, it'd be taking me forever. What else does it do as well? There's something else I was going to say it does. Oh, and also it was just generally very cheap. So, 30, 40 quid or whatever it was. So, yeah, definitely spend on things that save you time and effort. But also, I think you can take it to an extreme. So, for example, you could maybe buy something like I've mentioned before, a computer or an iPhone. For example, these young businessmen. Oh, I need to have an iPhone 10, or I need to have the latest iPhone because I need to look good for my business contacts and stuff, or I want to have this latest thing for my business. And it's like, yeah, okay, it might last you a while and stuff, and that's brilliant. But is it really needed? And that's what you've got to ask. You've got to ask, like, is it really needed? Or would it be better to get an iPhone 7 or an iPhone 8 or something like that, and then maybe it'll last you the same amount of time or whatever, and you could even go down the route of maybe getting things used. But the problem is, if you start getting things used, then they might last you less time, and therefore you're going to have to spend money in the future anyway. So I buy a lot of my stuff new. It's not necessarily so much as I won't buy anything used kind of thing, because I buy a lot of I buy clothing and stuff used at odds and ends from charity shops and stuff. But so it's not necessarily that, but I know that if I'm buying electronics specifically, I do like to buy them new, because I like to know that they're straight from the factory or whatever, or straight in the box from the factory, not opened or anything, and I know that that's probably going to be my best shot at them lasting for a while, opposed to buying them used, and you never know, there might be little faults here and there or whatever. So anyway, I'll look in the chat. I'm sorry, the chat's going really fast, so I'm trying to... Looking forward to your book haul, lad. Started reselling as second-hand bookseller in 1992, selling via mail order, didn't have internet at home then, cashing checks and postal was no. Book haul? What book haul? I've not got another book haul coming out. I've had a book haul. Do you mean the book haul I just did about, a week ago or something? I've not got another book haul coming out, though, if you mean that. I did a book haul over on my... Well, I did a book... Well, I suppose it was a book haul, really, wasn't it? I did a book haul over on my philosophy channel, but it's not to resell. It's just things that I was reading. Annoying when you get them back and you wasted money on postage. Yeah, it's a bit annoying that when you get them back. Start up and run a business from scratch and you're an entrepreneur. Doesn't matter what you're selling. Well, I don't know. I've never considered myself one. If I start, right, this is how, when I consider myself an entrepreneur, right? If I make some good investments, like with my crypto and stuff, and I get a lot of money, then I, maybe pour that money into, getting a good few cameras and getting a few bits and bobs for YouTube and stuff. And then I start to do really professional videos, like proper professional videos. And, for whatever reason, I start getting more and more subscribers because my content's really good at that point. And then, I get more money from that and stuff. Then, and let's say the videos are very creative in themselves as well, then I will think, right, I'm an entrepreneur. Or if I start to do eBay, but I do it in a completely new way to anyone else, like I create my own product or whatever and then sell my own product. I know that's not completely different in the basic of it, but I mean the product will be unique in itself, so that's the creative element, or the different or the new element. So if I do that and then I get loads of sales in that way off that new unique product, and maybe I start employing people and stuff, and maybe I start building a line of products that are unique to me, then I'll call myself an entrepreneur. But I just don't feel worthy of the title at this moment. And it might be something that essentially is just a folly in the fact that I'm feeling not worthy of that title because for some reason I feel psychologically unworthy or whatever, and therefore I will never give myself that title, and I'll be constantly going round on a hamster wheel trying to attain the thought that I am an entrepreneur when actually I already am one. But that's getting too deep into it. I'm not going to go into psychology or whatever. So, yeah, but it could be part of that. But, I just don't like calling myself something. It's like on my philosophy channel. Yes, okay, I think a lot about philosophy. Yes, okay, I like philosophizing about life and stuff. But even so, on that philosophy channel, I didn't call it, something directly to do with philosophy. I called it armchair philosophy, and I put the armchair behind it because I wanted people to realize, look, I have no formal training in this. I might not know what I'm bloody talking about, but I'm going to do it as an amateur at this, as an armchair philosopher. I didn't put the full-time philosopher as the channel name or whatever, because I believe a lot in in earning a title. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh God, my power's going. I'll have to get me, one sec, I'll have to get my thing. Oh, there it is. But no, I believe a lot in earning your titles, right? I really do. And you could say by now I've earned my title as a reseller. Doing it for 4 years, God knows how many sales I've had, 6,000, 7,000, I don't know. But I've probably earned my title as a reseller by now, and I feel comfortable, and I've always felt comfortable saying I'm a reseller, but I suppose it's because it's not an academic field. But, you know, I feel comfortable that I'm a reseller now, and that I'm happy to say it, and that I'm happy to say that, you know, I'm fairly well versed in reselling. Of course, not as well versed as some other people with more experience than me, but I'm fairly well versed in it. But something like philosophy or psychology, you start saying to yourself or giving yourself that formal title before, especially because it's an academic subject, before you've really got any experience or any academic merit or qualifications in it. Then what you're doing is you're being too big for your boots. So I do believe I have, in my personal philosophy, and it's funny that it's in my personal philosophy, but in my personal philosophy, I believe in earning your titles. I don't mean, don't get me wrong, because I don't mean earning them in academia. I don't mean you have to do a degree to be a notoriety or whatever in a subject. I totally believe some of the best philosophers of all time were self-taught. So that's not what I mean, but I do mean at least having a lot of experience to back up your kind of claim that you are what you say you are. You are a philosopher, you are a reseller, you are a psychologist, you are this, you are that. And that can come in the practical or oral demonstration of knowledge. So if you can demonstrate very clear to someone over 6 hours of lectures that you know what you're talking about, then that to me has a lot more weight than someone who says I've got this degree. Because yes, you could have a degree, and it's brilliant that people have got a degree, but a lot of people do degrees, and this is where the education system falls down for me. They do a degree and they want to get the degree, right? They actually want to attain the degree. That's not why you should do a degree in my eyes. You should do a degree because you bloody love that subject to death. And that's the first reason why you should do a degree. And then the degree on top of it is a bonus. You know, it's just a bonus. Like when we say with reselling, right? When people who love reselling, we say, well, I just love listing things on eBay. I just love going to the car boots. The money is just like a happy byproduct of it. Obviously, I need the money to survive, but it's a happy byproduct of it, of doing what I love. And the actual basis of reselling is going to be what we love. Degree is a means to a vocation as well, as it is indeed. I would very much agree with that. Now, as I was saying, people do the degree. So what we do is people might rush through the degree or rush through the work because this is perfect for me, right? I got essentially not tricked, but talked into doing a degree I felt I had a lot of pressure on myself because I thought, oh, my mum and dad would like me to do a degree in business and that'd be good. They didn't pressure me in it, but I felt pressure there because I thought I've got to go down this route now. I've got to go down the route of business. So then I thought to myself, right, well, I've got to do this business degree. And then everyone else in college was saying, oh, are you doing this degree and all the rest of it. And I've always suffered with peer. Well, not so much these days, but when I was younger, I did suffer from peer pressure a lot. And so you go down the degree, you do it, and it's interesting and stuff, but you don't really take it in because I never really took it in that much because I was thinking, well, I just want to get the degree. I just want to get that degree. Now, if I were to do a philosophy degree, I wouldn't care about the bloody degree. I'd just be like, look, teach me all your stuff on philosophy. Give it to me now. And then those people who do degrees in that way, who actually just care about the knowledge and solely the knowledge, they don't really bother about the degree, the certificate. It's just a happy byproduct. Those people are the ones who really excel in life because they retain all that knowledge of the degree because they loved it so much. They were there for that degree. They just loved absorbing that knowledge. But if you've always got one eye on the end of the degree, that certificate you're going to get, then you're just going to be kind of blindsided a little bit, and you're not going to fully absorb all that knowledge that you're giving people. So when I have kids, I'm going to say to them, look, I don't care what you do. I do not care what you do. I don't care if you're living in this house for another 5 years until you find something that you love, that you absolutely love, because I'm not having you do a degree on something that you don't love. I'd rather you do a degree on something you're totally passionate about, or if you don't want to do a degree, that's fine as well. But if you want to go down that route of academia in terms of university, I want you to prove to me that that is the subject for you, that is the thing that you are almost essentially, whether you believe in fate or not, but almost essentially you're meant to do. Or in more scientific terms, the thing that is most suited to your personality and your set of skills. And that's what I want to see from my kids. And if they can prove that to me, or if they can demonstrate that to me, that subject is what we want to do, I'll just say, go ahead and do it. Do that. Don't do anything else. Don't bother with anything else, because that's what you need to do. And I wish that I was a little bit more authoritarian of my own life, when I was in my teens. I know people say this when they're 50. So I've got a good head start here. People say when they're 50, oh, I wish I was better I wish I knew what I knew now in my teens, or I wish I knew, I wish I was like this in my teens. And I'm a little bit ahead of most people. I'm just sounding egotistical when I say that. I don't really care. But I'm a bit ahead of most people, so I can kind of think, right, well, I'm still 23, so I've got time to do it right, kind of thing. But yeah, it's just you've got to be careful with education and doing the thing that you really want to do. I think it's and there's not enough emphasis put on it. I mean, I know you have these guidance counsellors or whatever they're called at college, where they say, what would you want to do for a job? But there's not enough emphasis. What would you really spend a year or two of your life really in contemplation? What do you want to do? Because if you don't know what you want to do, or you make a decision kind of half-heartedly, I was going to say half-arsed, but I'll say half-heartedly. If you make a decision half-heartedly, you're not going to have the best life for yourself, and it makes me sad that there are people out there who don't have that best life for themselves, And I'm very lucky that I have both an academic subject that I enjoy in philosophy, and also a not so academic subject that I enjoy, or a slightly more practical subject in reselling, and the two actually quite melt together quite nicely, form together quite nicely, because you've got academic and then you've got slightly more practical and less academic, so they blend quite well, Anyway, I'm going to go up the chat, because I've missed out loads of chat. Probably take me off now. Allegedly, I'm a qualified historian with a BA in history. Oh, I bet do you know a lot about history then? But I don't know, I suppose. Oh, no, actually, Andrew, because you did a few, I swear I saw like a whole video or something where you bought some ceramics or something, and you seemed quite knowledgeable on the ceramics, and I was thinking, I wonder why Andrew's so knowledgeable on ceramics. I didn't know that, but maybe that's your history coming in a little bit, helping you with the antique side or something, or collectibles, I don't know. But that would make sense, actually. Oh, hi, Louise, sorry I didn't say hi. Creating YouTube itself would be an entrepreneurial. Yeah, but I just can't see it. Creating your own clothing line and selling it is more entrepreneurial. Your hoodie is proof that you're on. Yeah, okay, I agree. Right, I do agree with that. And when you were saying about the definition of an entrepreneur before, I was thinking, yeah, the one thing that I would say I am pretty creative or entrepreneurial in is the clothing, because obviously producing a unique design on Photoshop, uploading them to a website, selling them that way. I suppose I'd class that more entrepreneurial. But then again, I've not really got any sales on it. I've got like 2 or 3 sales or whatever on my clothing store, so it's not necessarily like it's earning me a lot of money. And one part of being an entrepreneur, as you mentioned, is this pursuit of profit. And there's not much profit going on there, so I don't know. I'm not sure. Not that I'm ungrateful for the people who have bought them. I'm just mentioning the fact that as part of my point that maybe to fully be an entrepreneur in that side of things, I need to gain a few more sales before I can actually say I am properly one. But that's just my own, as I say, that's just my own thing of not wanting to attribute a title to myself before I feel like I've earned it. Oh, Happy Chap 84's in. Hi there. God, this is like a chat of people who've not been around in ages. Happy Chap 84 and then Andy. Happy Chap 84, what's your name again? I forgot your name because it was ages ago. Oh, it'll probably come to me in a bit. But you had a channel, didn't you? You had a YouTube channel that you did videos on. You go down. Ads, DM me a discount. Oh yeah, I need to do that. I forgot. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I need to do that actually. My dad made me do a, what was it, like a little design for, he's got a badminton club thing that he does with work, and he made me do a little design of a t-shirt for them. So hopefully I'll get some sales from them anyway, because they want to have their own kind of little t-shirt design, club design kind of thing. So I just did a very basic. I'll see if well actually I don't know whether I'll be able to get it up because I'll have to turn the camera and stuff, but maybe I can. Let me just, oh, I don't know if I can get it up. Let's have a look. Let's see. Chat among yourself for a minute. Always happy to drop in from time to time. Oh, so you must be reselling then, or are you not reselling anymore, but you just randomly catch up on some people's chat? Let me check. Here. Hi, Monumental. Oh, what's that? Military Militia. I love doing graphic design, not amazing at it, but I enjoy toying around with it, learning as I go along. You know what's brilliant on, it's a bit, you can never get that completely level, you know. What's brilliant is YouTube. YouTube is what, oh, where, no, I can't see it. Oh, no, wait, next. It's on it. I think, oh, no, wait. God, how many pages have I got? Bloody hell. Where the hell is it? It's not even here. Where is it? It's not even, no, it's not even on. What the hell? Did I take it down? I don't know, I can't find that t-shirt. Can't find it. Weird. Yeah, it's not there. Weird. I don't even know why. But, no, YouTube is brilliant for tutorials. I learned all I know on Premiere, all know editing and everything just on YouTube. And my dad says to me, he goes, oh, you know, you're into all this editing and all the rest of it. Why don't you join a club? Why don't you do this? And I'm like, well, why do I need to join a club? I'm just like, I don't need to join a club. I can do it all on my own. You know, I have a very a big complex around doing things on my own. It's an entrepreneur. Oh no, why should I just said I'm an entrepreneur then, or nearly did. It's a business person thing. Like, I might say I'm an entrepreneur soon. I probably said I'm an entrepreneur in one of the Thursday Talks episodes in the last 176 weeks or whatever. But no, I was like, I don't need a club. I'll just learn it on my own, you know. But I have this obsession, right? So I have this obsession because when I went to therapy, I was like, or counselling, or whatever you want to call it, therapy. Is there a difference between therapy and counselling? I don't know. But I was like, I felt very vulnerable with the counsellor because I felt like, and I've talked about this before very briefly, but I felt like I couldn't quite. I didn't want to necessarily expose everything, or I just felt a little bit, I don't know, I just felt a little bit of, I don't know how to describe it, but maybe I felt a little bit exposed because I knew I was going to counselling. So what I've done now is I quit the counselling, and then I learned loads about a little bit about psychology and stuff, and then basically I formed this document on my computer, 23 pages about all my different complexes, about all my different life stories and how these fit in with various different complexes I've got, and how certain dreams that I've had in my life, I used, you know, dream analysis and stuff like that, what's it called, active imagination, and I used all this to try and create this cool, amazing document that's all about me. And now I know myself so well, like all my dark sides and all everything. And now what I have the feeling of doing, because I'm very egotistical in this way, go back to the counsellor, show her that document and say, look, well, I've done it, I've done your job for you. Because I have this compulsion of just trying to do everyone's job for them. And then everyone thinks I'm amazing because I've done everyone's job for them, or because like I've got so much knowledge. It's like this accumulation of knowledge because it's so fun to accumulate all this knowledge and become some sort of superhuman with it, and then with the knowledge I've accumulated, start helping other people with it, like start doing stuff. That's why I like I did those things for Steve, right? And I've done a few different things helping people with various YouTube stuff. I like to think that I'm the kind of guy that accumulates all the knowledge and then I can pass it on. I suppose, you know what it's like? I like, and this is on the document as well anyway, I've worked this out ages ago anyway, but I suppose I like to be in control. I like to have that superiority factor about me and know that I'm handing down the knowledge to someone else and they're not handing it down to me. I find it hard, I suppose, to let go of that control and just cease to be like that. But it's interesting going through your mind, and I would encourage anyone. I mean, it's hard when you actually be introspective on yourself and actually look inside your own mind, because you see a lot of crap, like a lot of dark stuff as well, especially when you do things like active imagination and stuff. But if you can look into your own mind and see all these dark things and see all these good things and see all these positive things, you start to get a better understanding of your whole personality, and then you can be less judging of people, because you know that you're deep down, you've got a little bit of evil inside of you, and you know that everyone else is like that, because no one has no shadows. Everyone has some level of shadows. Other people have more than others. Some people are more kind than others. Other people are slightly more evil than others. You see this in the world, like why we've got terrorists, and then why we've got saints and preachers and all the rest of it. But it's interesting to be able to be introspective on yourself like that and see everyone else, see all the other people for their flaws, but also their positive sides. And then you can be more holistic in your approach to being sympathetic and empathetic towards them, because you understand that actually we all have a bit of ego, we all have a bit of superiority, we all have a bit of this, that and the other, and that's just kind of how it goes, really. And it's incredibly fulfilling to really realise that, and to just see humanity in this beautifully imperfect way. To know that just like you're imperfect, everyone else is, but when you really go down and dig down and see that, like really see it, by really digging down inside yourself, then it really becomes, you essentially just want to help people. You just want to go forward and just help people in whatever way you can, and of course certain things might end up getting in the way of that a little bit. Some of your complexes at certain times in your life might get in the way of that, but if you're consciously aware of them, they won't get in the way as much as they maybe do. Or if you're consciously aware of them, you'll be able to say, oh well, that's ego, or that's this, so like for example, before I was going on an ego trip and I immediately said, oh well, this is very egotistical, because I'm aware of that side of myself and aware of that superiority. So I still will display that superiority, but I'll do it in a different way. I'll consciously tell people, look, this is just part of my shadow, and I want to exercise it. I want to give it a little bit of free rein, because I like that. I have that little bit of evil in my eye, but I'm not going to let it control me to a huge extent. I'm just going to simply let it out for a little bit and let it make its mark, let it play around a little bit, because that's life, that's fun, and it's interesting to do that. But alternatively, you could also tame your shadows so much that you don't necessarily need to let them out, because I could be consciously aware before I've said it, and I've done this before actually, where you're consciously aware of the fact that you're going to try and get your shadow out there, essentially. So what you do is, before you do it, you stop yourself and you don't do it. So you can do that, but it's not as fun. I did that for a while, and it's hard to do it. Don't get me wrong, it's really, really hard to do it. But when it's a skill that you have to develop, and I've not developed it to the level that most people can develop it to, but it's just fun having a little bit of evil in your eyes. Not evil in the sense of disastrous evil or very immoral evil, but just doing little subtle things like this superiority or this little bit of ego here and there. It's fun, and I think that that's what makes a whole human being. And if you can't embrace that, then essentially what it's going to do is start consuming you even more, because you're going to try and resist it, and then you're going to get more and more egotistical in the process. So it's better just to embrace it and just see what happens with it, really. And it is quite interesting. But you've got to also watch the whole beast or the shadow of self-loathing when you do it as well, because what happens is you start being egotistical, you start being something like that, and then immediately after it follows the shadow that's projected on you, or comes into your conscious, not really projected on you, of this self-loathing. And then if you get that self-loathing after being egotistical, you then think, oh, well, it's terrible, and all the rest of it. You can get past that by utilising ego transcendence, which then allows you to see that self-loathing is encapsulated in your ego or your persona, and therefore you don't need to feel the self-loathing. You still kind of feel it to some degree, but you can shove it off a bit because you realise you don't need to feel it because it's inside your ego. But yeah, it's just interesting. I just love being introspective, I suppose. Question adds, would you prefer a relationship with someone older, same age, or younger than you? That is a very interesting question that I've asked myself quite a lot recently. Well, not recently, but probably the last 6 months or so. So there would be a plague that would, thank God, wish there would be a plague that would kill humanity, is that? I don't know. It seems like there was a word missing there. Yeah, so I've thought about this quite a lot. So first off, my standpoint would be someone older than me, because I'm quite an insecure individual. I'm not. I wouldn't necessarily say and no, everyone will know this anyway. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the conventional style of man that is talked about, or that is shown, essentially. Not just in physicality, but in mentality as well. So with that being said, you think, well, maybe I need someone older as more of some sort of security. Feeling, oh, well, if I get someone older, then it'll be nicer, because then I can have some security there, right? But then what you got to think to yourself is, yeah, but is that just a cry for help? Is that actually what you really want? Or is that just some sort of broken part of your psyche, or broken part of your mind or mentality that is essentially clinging on for some sort of strength that's external? And that's what I established, really, over the last month or so in particular. But actually, I don't want an older person, because not an older person like 70, by the way. When I say older person, I'm thinking like 30s, maybe 40, something like that, 41, 42. So I don't know, but that's kind of what I'm thinking when I say older woman, or older man, or whatever. But yeah, so when I think like that, and I think, oh, maybe it is that broken mentality, or cry for help, or searching for something external that I actually have inside myself but can't quite see yet, it's kind of made me think, well, actually, no, I don't want, one sec, some notifications popped up. I don't want a relationship with an older person in terms of 30s or 40s or whatever. So then I think, well, what about a younger person, like 18, 19, something like that, 20, I don't know. And I think to myself, well, yeah, that would be okay, so long as I can feel more secure, so long as I can feel protected by that person in a way, and they can feel protected by me as well. It's like a mutual thing that happens in relationships anyway, you look out for each other, or the rest of it. So as long as I can feel like that, then yeah, I would probably go younger in that respect. But I think a perfect solution for me would be either someone directly my age, so bang on 23, or maybe 22, or 24 or 25. I think that's, you see, because if they were 24 or 25, it'd still make me, I'd still get a bit of that security there, because they have dominance in the form of age, right? and then I think, well, you know, they've got a little bit of a dominating factor in the age that I can look up to, and I can get my insecurity or my security through that factor, and I can feel less insecure in my relationship and everything and in daily life. So I've got that, but they're not really old or anything. They're still very, very much my age. But just as a psychological tick, that would work for me. Or I go for someone who's 21, 20, 22, something like that. Because I do still have, of course, as a man, I still have this protective nature in terms of I want to protect someone who I'm in a relationship with, or I want to make them feel secure. I want to do the best that I can for them. So I've got this kind of insecure side, but I've also got this very protective side, which actually completely contrast each other, or what's the word? Contradict each other. But they do work, and they do sit inside my mind at the same time. You know, they can still be present there, essentially. But so it's got this insecurity, got this protective nature. So really, all I need to do is, if I was to go out with someone younger, you know, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, then I can actually, I suppose, if I can get rid of that kind of insecurity slightly, I can then be with them, and it'll be more, you know, holistic and stuff. Anyway, it'll be a better relationship. And I do realise that probably either the fall of a relationship will be through my analytical and clinical response, and I've mentioned this before, analytical and clinical response to how I should behave in a relationship, and how I should be, and what we should do, and because I know a lot about dynamics of relationship, you know, and how people should be able to cultivate strong relationships and strong love and stuff, and you know, how much time you should talk to each other for, and different things like that, because I like looking into that. It's something I'm interested in. So that's either going to be the fall of my relationship, because the person I'm with is going to not like it one bit, or it's going to be the opposite, and it's going to be the strength of my relationship, because I'm going to be able to, the person I'm with who's going to actually admire that in me as a trait, and I'm going to be able to use that to be able to essentially provide them with a very whole relationship experience that can be very, very spot on. I'm not going to say perfect, because perfect is an unreal standard to go for in any relationship, and that's just going to burn bridges and stuff. You start trying to be perfect in a relationship. I mean, you think of it, like people who are totally in bliss in relationships, like for a few years or whatever, they're probably going to break up, because you need that argument, you need that little bit of bite to make things sustainable. You need that. You can't just be bliss all the time. That's not how life works. And one day, those blissful relationships are going to come across something that's really, really hard, and they're not going to get past it. But if you can argue a bit, and, you know, you can really start to strengthen the relationship and feel each other out and stuff, and know your bad habits of each other and all the rest of it, then when those life challenges come about, you're going to be able to get over them, because you've had all these little arguments before the bigger hurdle. So, you know, arguing is a fundamental principle in any relationship. I would argue that arguing is a fundamental principle in any relationship. And you know, then you get onto the case of, obviously, you can have too much arguing, of course, and then that can be the downfall of the relationship. Also, I think a big one is compromise, because you've got to, for example, let's say you have a bad habit, or you have a few bad habits. You've got to compromise with the other person and come onto their level, essentially, from time to time. Of course, you're not going to be able to meet in the middle like crazy, but you're going to be able, you've got to compromise a little bit. And then, of course, the other big one is trying to keep up regular sex if you can. I know when you have kids, that's not going to be an option, and that's fine. You can get through that. You've got to, essentially, when you've got a child in a relationship, you've got to pour all your love, unconditional love, into the child, and basically you both get stronger from pouring both your love into the child. But, you know, after that's happened, if you can start getting back into some sort of regular sex, then that's good, because then that strengthens the bond again as well. But the key thing is talking as well. The key thing is having regular conversations, because if you don't have regular conversations, that's going to send you further and further apart. So the problem fundamentally that I have, and I've mentioned this before, is that I know the theory of this stuff like the back of my hand. Literally, I can do it easy, you know. But when it comes to practically, I can't do it, and it makes me very uncomfortable because I think, well, yeah, but I know what you're doing here, and I know the tricks that you're playing, or I know where this is going to send us. So if I know where this is going to send us, there's no point in this relationship anymore because I know the outcome. You know, for example, someone starts, you know, I don't know, doing certain things around me or whatever, and then I can pick up on that as some sort of psychological thing, you know, and yeah, and then I think to myself, well, it's not going right, this relationship, and then I may as well not do it. You see, Alan Watts says this about games. If you play a game and you know the outcome of the game, you're not going to play the game because it's boring because you know the outcome. You're not going to play. If you sit down with chess with someone and you know that they're going to win by some divine intervention or whatever, you know that they're going to win, right? You're not going to play the game. You're not going to play the game because it's boring. So, like, I know all the game relationships, and I'm like, yeah, but I know it, so it's boring, you know? I don't need to do it. I don't need to, you know, that's why I like theorizing about life so much, because the theory I can do, the practical is all, you know? It's just too practical. It's too practical for me. They'll always surprise, yeah, they will always surprise you. Ads, please confirm your address. Just filling in your application form for you. Apparently there. No, we're not doing that. I'm not. Oh, for God's sake! My last relationship, we didn't have a single argument for 3 years. She still left me. Well, there you go. That says you need to have more. Now, don't create an argument. That's the worst thing you can do. Don't think to yourself, oh, we're in a bit too much bliss here. I better create a problem. Now, that's the worst thing. Don't ever do that. But God, you know, that is. I've had experience with that one, not in relationships, but just in general life. Ads, are you considering investing in property or buying a house? I've got savings for a house and stuff. I've got my crypto stuff as well that I could pull out and put it in my savings, but I'm not going to because you know what I'm like. But yeah, I am considering buying a house in the next, I don't know, few years or something. I think Ads will meet a girl called Analytical. Analytical, brilliant. That's brilliant, man. I think you need to stop thinking about it. Just go with the flow. I know. I know. But this is the problem. I know that too. I'm too on it. I'm too on it, and then I'm just like, ooh, you know. This is why people who are ignorant or people who aren't very intelligent are the best people in the world, right? Because they know how to do life, practically speaking, like so perfectly. Those who are really, well, not really intelligent. I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm really intelligent. I'm overthinking. I'm just a very crazy overthinker. But those who are intelligent or who are overthinkers think it so much that they can't actually enjoy it. They can't experience it. They can't go with the flow. But then you think, well, yeah, I'll go with the flow and I'll do that and it'll be good, it'll be decent. But then you start thinking, oh, well, you know, what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen in the future. You see, because what happens when you attach yourself to things is, you know, you think, well, I'm going to get into this relationship with someone and it's going to be great and all the rest of it, or it's going to be whatever it's going to be. And you think to yourself, right, it's brilliant and stuff, but then you get in arguments, and there's all these downsides to it, and there's all this, you know, and then you think, why did I get myself in this situation if I could have just not got myself in this situation? And then you get frustrated with the other person because you start projecting onto them your fears or your anger, I suppose, with how the relationship is going, if it's, you know, if there's arguments and stuff, and then it ends up breaking down the relationship because of your own insecurity, and yeah, it's just, I know. I mean, I often think, I wonder if I actually got with someone who was as analytical as me, that would probably be incredibly destructive, but I kind of just want to see how it would be. Maybe it would be like really good, because we'd both be analysing each other so much that we'd know exactly. We might have the best relationship ever because we can pinpoint exactly who we are, like both of us, and we might have the strongest relationship ever because we're almost introspective of each other. I know it doesn't really work, that phrase, in terms of the words that I'm using, but we're kind of like introspective of each other, which, yeah, it's weird. But with that being said, it could be destructive. It could be destructive, could be not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go in a minute because we're getting close to the hour. Question, do you have a separate machine for crypto? Oh, you mean a computer? No, I don't mine crypto. Would she have to be a reseller? No, I don't think that would come into it, really. I used to think that, actually. I used to think to myself, oh, you know what? It'd be really good if I got someone who's a reseller, but I don't think so. I'm not that bothered because I'd quite like someone just to do what they're doing and just enjoy what they're doing and whatever it may be. If it turns out to be a reseller, then brilliant. But I don't know, because it would be. I've discussed this before. It'd be good in one respect, but then it would be bad in another respect because you are together quite a lot when you resell. I mean, especially if you've got full-time resellers. And let's say you live in the same house and stuff, you're together a lot. And that can be brilliant, but it can also be a hindrance. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'd quite like them to have just a regular full-time job. And then I can have my time away as a reseller. I can do my online stuff as well. I can do my YouTube and come on here on Thursday Talks. And you see what I mean? There's that separation. And then when we get home at the night time, it's nicer because... or more nice. I don't know whether nice is a word. I've contemplated that I've not even typed it in, but I wonder whether nice is a word. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, it'd be more nice because when we come home, you have more gratitude for them. In the relationship, because you're like, I've not seen you all day. I want to see you. How is work? How is this? How is the other? But if you've been with each other 7 days a week. Even 5 days a week, both full-time resellers, that's a lot, And obviously, people who do that generally have separate offices, and that's why, because you don't want to be in incredible contact with them all the time. Obviously you love the other person, but you don't want... It's not natural, or not completely natural, to be around the same person joint at the hip 7 days a week. That's not a relationship. That's just some weird... That's just like taking it to the extreme, But, it's in those periods where you don't see each other that you can build up respect for the other person and love for the other person because you're missing them, you want to be around them again. So, yeah, I suppose 5 days, 7 days a week seems somewhere. I don't think I can do it. So, what would be good is maybe them having like a part-time job, 3-4 days a week, something like that. And then you've got a good balance there because you can see them an extra couple of days. If they're in full-time employment, they'd be on 5 days. So you can see them an extra couple of days, and that would make quite a nice balance, I suppose. But then again, I don't know. Anyway, go up the chat very quickly. Your future husband/wife could be watching you now, ads. You never know. I don't think so. And that really sounded weird because I don't know why, but I first thought, hang on a minute. Is that you saying you want to be my husband? That's like really weird and odd. So that made me go, oh God, oh God, what's happened here? That sounded weird. I know it wasn't meant to be in that way, but I made that association, which was really odd. Any suggestions for me, Corey, and Louise to cover in our live show? Oh, you're going live tonight? Oh my God. Well, Corey's doing his FBA, so you can cover his FBA. Louise went to that FBA course thing, so she could talk about that. I don't think you've even had a sip of tea today, have I? Louise has covered, so Louise could cover that. And I don't know what you've been doing up to the last few days. Maybe you could cover something about your storage or something. But yeah, something like that anyway. I think he'll meet a girl called Olivia. I can't even pronounce that. Overthink. Overthink. Okay, I get it. Question. Oh no, I've already done that one. One sec. I just go up very quickly. Love Island is the way forward. No, I'm not going on Love Island. Oh God, no. They're not my type of people. Not that they're not nice people and stuff. Some of them are very nice, but not necessarily just physically. I mean, nice in personality, but they just, I just can't do it. You know, I need some more stimulation. Let's just say, I don't mean physical stimulation. So I know Andrew's going to put something in the chat about that. I don't mean that. I mean, I need just some mental stimulation. You know, I always have this idea, and did I say? I don't know whether I said this the other week. Maybe I said it the other week. I apologise if I did, but you know, at this point I'll repeat myself every week anyway. But I have that board up there, don't I? I always have this fantasy, and it's a very movie-like fantasy, right? That we'll both be like interested in a certain topic, and we'll both be researching into it, and then we'll be writing on the board all these different theories and stuff, and then I don't know, maybe she has some sort of sexy glasses on or something. I don't know, you know, like, you know, red rouge lipstick, sexy glasses, something like that. Anyway, I always have this. I don't know why I have this. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm writing on the board, and we're both writing on the board, and it's getting like, we're writing faster and faster and faster, and then it's, for whatever reason, we're getting like turned on by the idea of this intellectual stimulation. And we're both like, you know, all these theories on the board and everything, and then we just like fall into each other's arms on the bed, just, you know, like proper ravenous passion, you know, like really, like incredibly ravenous, incredibly intense passion. That's always that's one of the fantasies I've always had, you know, and I don't know where it comes from, but yeah. So oh right, no, I think Louise was saying that. Oh, shall we go on your channel? All right, cool. I was shocked then when Louise said, "Yep, sounds good to me." I was like, "Whoa, what the hell? What's going on here?" Right, let's have a. Is Peter Ray not here, or is he looking for the 16 more subs to get him to 1,000? I don't know. Peter Ray, he often pops in, but he doesn't stay for very long because he's normally out. I've got you some physical stimulation for you. No, I don't need any. Thank you very much. Well. Maybe I do, but I don't. I'm not now, not right now anyway. But not off you either, not off you. I went to the FBA thing with her, lads. Oh yeah, you did, I forgot. Do live at A, as usual, leave a mine on your channel. I'll make a thumbnail for it now. This has gone in a different direction. Well, it often does, doesn't it, Gary? You know what it's like, it always goes in a different direction. So yeah, anyway, I'll go in a second. If anyone's got any more questions, I'll stay in for another couple of minutes. Cause I know I normally do an hour. Well, I know I try for an hour, but I always end up going over it anyway. So if you got any more questions, whack them in the chat. Just need a picture of me, Louise. That'll bring you the subscribers. Oh my god, I tell you. So yeah, oh, also like it if you haven't already, you know, the like button down below. Yeah, so, what was I going to say? So yeah, essentially, that's always kind of a fantasy I've had. And so that's why I need this mental, some sort of intelligence there, because I don't think I can have sex with anyone anymore, that isn't intelligent. You know, I've done the whole friends with benefits thing and all that, and it's fine. It's quite clinical in the sense of being unemotive, but I need some intellectual stimulation there to be able to really love someone, you know. That's kind of what I need at the moment, and so that's why I suppose that fantasy is so prominent in my mind these days, because I'm like, that's what I want. I want just as much the bed action, essentially, as I want the writing down the theories. That's the fantasy. It's both of them together, you know. But anyway, we will leave it there if no one's got any more questions. My sales have been crap for a week. Well, yeah, I mean, they've been okay for me latter part of last week, but early this week they've been, yeah, not very good, but yeah. Summer slowdown. Oh yeah, it's summer, isn't it? It's June. I was wondering actually, wait, hang on, why are my sales gone downhill? But yeah, it's summer, isn't it? That's what I hate. Summer's on eBay, summer's not good. Are your eBay sales slowing down? Yeah, we've been through this, Sean. They're slowing down like crazy. everyone sales, well, quite a few people have said they're slowing down. Hold on, is this a reselling channel? It is part of the time, but it's not, you know, most of the time it's not. Not on Thursday Talks. Don't you know this, Andy? You know this, that on Thursday Talks we just go crazy. We just go all over the place. Anyway, I will go in a sec because I don't think there's any more questions. I'm not. Don't listen to Andrew. I'm not at all. For God's sake. I don't like anyone in the reselling community. No, I mean, not in that way. I like people in the community as friends and stuff, but I don't like anyone in the reselling community in that way. Question, when are you bringing me on Thursday Talks? Well, I don't know. I'll get people. What about 200? I'll do like a big live show thing for 200, loads of people on. I think that's the best thing, really. I don't think... yeah, I think 200. I want to do it on something special. Louise says, I've got to go now too anyway. See you all later, guys. Thanks for popping by anyway, Louise. Oh, that will be fun. Yeah, I'll probably do it for 200. That's going in the highlight reel. Ad saying he doesn't like anyone in Louise. No, don't take it out of context. Oh my God. That is so prime for being taken out of context as well. I was just like, I don't like anyone in the reselling community. Oh God, I put myself in it, but don't do that. It's like that time. What did I do? I've done quite a few on comedy shorts and stuff where I put my hand in bad positions with my mouth open and stuff like that, and I always think to myself, oh God, that's gonna get photoshopped. No, don't, please, someone. Like on the end of the first eBay song I did, I was doing like a little bit of dancing, and I put the deodorant can right up to my mouth, like in this position, like that, and then I thought, oh God, no, someone's gonna Photoshop that, Jesus. Oh God, no. But yeah, so it's pretty funny. Anyway, I will leave it there. And I'll probably pop into the chat when you guys are on tonight. What is it, 8 o'clock? Don't know what else have I got to do. Oh, I've got a video. I've got a bit of a video to record, I think. But yeah, so I might pop over on the live chat tonight, and I'll see anyone there who's in the chat. And yeah, I will leave it there, and I will see you in the next one. So I will see you very soon, guys.